The silent observer. The quantum arrays of Deep Space Research Station Helios hummed their usual melody, a subtle vibration that Sarah Chen had learned to interpret like a lullaby over her 6 years as lead quantum physicist. Tonight, though, the song had changed. Something was different in the harmonic resonance, a discordance that made her fingers pause over the holographic interface. Somewhere, 40 light-years from Earth, something watched. Krith had existed for eons, a crystalline consciousness that had witnessed the birth and death of 1,000 civilizations. Its lattice structure, spanning kilometers in the void between stars, was invisible to conventional sensors. But it saw everything, including the approaching ships that human instruments had yet to detect. Sarah's quantum readings were becoming increasingly erratic. The baseline cosmic radiation patterns she'd been studying for months were showing impossible fluctuations. She ran another diagnostic, her dark eyes reflecting the cascade of data streaming across her screens. The station's eye assistant, ARI, had already confirmed the equipment was functioning normally. Dr. Chen, ARI's calm voice interrupted her thoughts. Admiral Torres requests your presence in the command center. Sarah gathered her shoulder-length black hair into a quick knot, her mind still processing the anomalous readings. Tell him I'm on my way. As she moved through the station's curved corridors, the subtle artificial gravity making her steps light, she couldn't shake the feeling that these readings meant something. Something big. Krith observed the human female with growing interest. In all its vast existence, it had never encountered a species quite like humanity. Their quantum technology was crude by the standards of the ancient races Krith had known, but their intuitive grasp of the underlying principles was remarkable. This one, in particular, had come dangerously close to detecting its presence several times. But there was no more time for observation. The Void Collective was coming. Admiral Torres was a statue of tension when Sarah entered the command center. The holographic tactical display showed nothing unusual, but the Admiral's expression told a different story. Dr. Chen, what do you make of this? He gestured to a secondary display, showing her recent quantum readings. The pattern suggests some kind of massive quantum entanglement event, Sarah explained, pulling up additional data. It's as if something, or someone, is manipulating quantum states on a scale we've never seen before. The lights flickered. Krith felt the first attack before the humans could detect it. The Void Collective's quantum disruptors tore through spacetime, targeting the station's shields with surgical precision. For millennia, Krith had maintained its role as a silent observer, bound by ancient protocols not to interfere with developing civilizations. But watching the Void Collective systematically eliminate promising species had become increasingly difficult. The station shuddered violently. Warning klaxons blared as multiple systems reported critical failures. Multiple ships dropping out of quantum space. The tactical officer shouted, "Configuration unknown." Sarah stared in horror as the tactical display came alive with dozens of obsidian shapes, their surfaces seeming to drink in light itself. The ships moved with impossible precision, surrounding the station in a perfect geometric pattern that her physicist's mind recognized as a quantum containment formation. They're targeting our quantum arrays, Sarah realized, her fingers flying over the nearest console. These attacks, they're not random. They know exactly how our technology works. Krith made its decision. The space around the station suddenly crystallized, literal geometries of light forming in the void. The Void Collective's first wave of attacks shattered against this unexpected defense. Their quantum disruption weapons reflected back at them in prismatic cascades. What is that? Admiral Torres demanded, but Sarah was already running for the quantum lab. She knew, somehow, that the answers lay in her research. The crystalline barrier wouldn't hold forever. Krith began the dangerous process of establishing direct quantum entanglement with the human female's consciousness. Her unique sensitivity to quantum phenomena made it possible, but the process would have consequences, permanent ones. Sarah reached her lab just as reality seemed to fold in on itself. The quantum arrays weren't just receiving data anymore. They were resonating with something vast, ancient, and very much alive. As her consciousness expanded into the quantum field, she caught her reflection in a darkened screen. Her eyes were becoming crystalline, transforming into windows into another level of existence. The void-collected ships launched their second wave of attacks. This time, they targeted the human female directly, having detected the quantum entanglement taking place. Grith extended its protection, but couldn't prevent all of the quantum feedback from reaching her. Sarah screamed as her physical vision went dark, but in that same moment, she began to see everything. The quantum field itself became visible to her transformed consciousness, including the vast, crystalline entity that had chosen to break its ancient vow of non-interference. They'd been systematically eliminating species with quantum potential. Grith's thoughts resonated directly in her mind. You are the last of your kind with the ability to perceive quantum truth. The others on this station, I cannot save them all. The Void Collective's final attack reached the station's hull. As emergency force fields snapped into place and evacuation protocols initiated, Sarah made her choice. Show me what I need to do, she thought back to Grith. In the darkness of space, watched by the impassive ships of the Void Collective, a human woman's consciousness merged with an ancient crystalline entity. As the research station Helios died around them, a partnership was born that would change the course of galactic history. Sarah Chen might have been the last human with quantum sight, but she was about to become something more, something that even the Void Collective hadn't counted on. The real war was just beginning. Echoes of memory. The escape pod tumbled through quantum space, its systems barely functioning after the desperate flight from research station Helios. Inside, Sarah Chen floated in darkness, but she had never seen more clearly. The quantum field rippled around her like an endless ocean of possibility, each wave carrying echoes of events past and potential futures. The transformation is progressing faster than anticipated. Grith's thoughts resonated through their shared consciousness. The crystalline entity's vast form extended through multiple dimensions, anchoring their tiny vessel in the quantum stream. Sarah watched the memories of her station's last moments play out in quantum space. She saw them from 1,000 angles simultaneously. The Void Collective's ships tearing through the station's defenses, the desperate evacuation, the faces of colleagues she couldn't save. Each quantum echo carried the weight of choices made and unmade. They're hunting the other research stations, aren't they? Sarah's question rippled through the quantum field. She could sense the Void Collective's ships moving through normal space, their quantum signatures leaving trails of darkness in their wake. Yes, Grith confirmed. They seek to eliminate all species approaching quantum awareness. Your civilization's rapid advancement in quantum technology drew their attention, but they did not anticipate you. Sarah's transformed eyes, now crystalline matrices that interface directly with quantum space, perceived patterns within patterns. She watched as a Void Collective ship emerged near Research Station Artemis, humanity's secondary quantum research facility. The attack would begin in hours. We have to warn them, Sarah insisted, but even as she spoke, she felt Grith's reluctance. Direct intervention is complicated. The protocols that govern my kind for eons existed for good reason. When we interfered in the past, the consequences were often catastrophic. But Sarah was already reaching out through the quantum field, her consciousness expanding beyond the confines of the escape pod. The crystalline transformation had given her abilities that even Grith hadn't expected. She could do more than just see quantum echoes. She could touch them. Watch, she whispered, focusing on a particular quantum thread. Her consciousness wrapped around it, and suddenly the emergency quantum communication system on Artemis Station crackled to life. Warning messages began flooding their systems, carrying data about the approaching threat. Grith's surprise rippled through their connection. How did you? Quantum entanglement goes both ways, Sarah explained, her mind racing with possibilities. Their weapons left traces in the quantum field. I just followed them back, used their own quantum signatures to create a warning beacon. But the effort cost her. Pain lanced through her transformed eyes, and the quantum field blurred around her. Krith's consciousness steadied her, preventing her from losing herself in the infinite possibilities of quantum space. "You must be careful," Krith cautioned. "Your human consciousness was not designed to perceive quantum reality so directly. Each use of these abilities strains your neural pathways." The warning came too late. Sarah's manipulation of the quantum field had drawn attention. Through their shared perception, they watched as 3 Void Collective ships altered course, their quantum signatures orienting toward their location. "They can track quantum manipulations," Krith explained, its crystalline form shifting to create defensive geometries around their pod. "It's how they hunt developing civilizations. Any significant use of quantum technology acts as a beacon." Sarah processed this information, her mind racing. "Then we use that against them. If they're hunting quantum signatures." She reached out again, ignoring the burning sensation in her crystalline eyes. This time, she didn't just touch the quantum echoes, she shaped them. Using techniques derived from her years of research, modified by her new understanding, she began creating quantum decoys. False signatures bloomed across space like quantum ghosts, each one a perfect replica of their own quantum signature. The Void Collective ships hesitated, their perfect formation breaking as they detected multiple targets. But Sarah wasn't finished. She reached deeper into the quantum field, accessing the memories it contained. Every quantum event left an echo, and now she could read them all. "There," she gasped, her consciousness straining under the effort. 3 months ago, a Void Collective ship passed through this sector. I can see its quantum wake." She began reconstructing its signature, creating not just a decoy, but a phantom of their own enemy. Krith's consciousness surged with understanding. "You're using their past quantum signatures against them, creating false targets they cannot ignore." The pursuing ships scattered, their perfect coordination disrupted by the appearance of what their sensors told them was one of their own vessels. In the confusion, Krith guided their pod into a deeper quantum stream, obscuring their true location. As they slipped away, Sarah collapsed into herself, her consciousness retreating from the quantum field. The effort had nearly overwhelmed her, but she had learned something vital. The Void Collective wasn't invincible. Their perfect coordination, their devastating weapons, all of it relied on quantum technology. Technology that, thanks to her transformation, she could now see, understand, and manipulate. "We need to find others," she said finally, her thoughts weak but determined. "There must be more survivors from the quantum research projects, people who might understand what I've become." Krith's agreement resonated through their connection. "Yes, but first, you must learn to control these abilities. What you did was remarkable, but dangerous. I have watched countless species evolve quantum awareness, but never have I seen one adapt so quickly." Sarah smiled in the darkness of the pod, her crystalline eyes reflecting the infinite possibilities of quantum space. "Then teach me, because the next time we encounter the Void Collective, I want to do more than just escape." In the quantum field around them, echoes of possible futures shimmered like stars. And in many of them, humanity did more than just survive. They prevailed. The Crystal Guardian. Deep in an abandoned asteroid mining facility at the edge of the Kuiper Belt, Sarah Chen floated in a sea of quantum probabilities. Her crystalline eyes, now fully transformed, refracted possibilities like light through a prism. Each facet showed her a different path, a different outcome, a different way the universe might unfold. "Focus." Krith's thoughts resonated through their shared consciousness. "Don't let the quantum echoes overwhelm you. Find the thread that matters." Sarah's consciousness stretched through the quantum field, searching. The Void Collective had destroyed 3 more research stations in the past week, but this time, they'd left survivors. She could feel their quantum signatures, faint but distinct, scattered across the solar system. "There," she whispered, her mind touching a particularly strong echo. "A quantum physicist, Dr. James Martinez. He made it off Europa Station before the attack. He's hiding in the rings of Saturn." Krith's crystalline form shifted, its vast lattice structure adjusting to better channel the quantum energies around them. You're learning quickly. Too quickly, perhaps. The strain on your neural pathways is manageable. Sarah interrupted, though they both knew she was downplaying the cost. Each time she reached into the quantum field, the headaches grew worse. But she couldn't stop. Not when she was their only hope of finding survivors. The asteroid facility's emergency lights cast a pale blue glow across the makeshift laboratory they'd established. Salvaged quantum computers lined the walls, modified by Krith's knowledge and Sarah's new abilities to serve as amplifiers for their work. "Tell me about the others," Sarah said, pulling her consciousness back from the quantum field. "The other guardians like you. What happened to them?" Krith was silent for a long moment, its crystalline structure dimming slightly. "We were created to watch, to observe the development of young species with quantum potential. Interference was forbidden. But some disagreed with this mandate. Through their connection, Sarah saw flashes of ancient conflicts. Crystalline beings of impossible size and complexity, battling across dimensions. Civilizations rising and falling as their guardians chose different paths. The Void Collective, Sarah realized. They're not just hunting developing species. They're hunting you too." "Yes," Krith confirmed. "They believe they are protecting the universe from the chaos of unrestricted quantum advancement. In their view, only they can be trusted with such power." Sarah stood, her modified environment suit glinting with crystalline growths that had spread from her eyes to create a latticework across her skin. "But you chose to interfere, to save me. Why?" "Because in all my eons of watching, I had never seen a species adapt to quantum awareness as rapidly as humans. Your understanding of quantum mechanics, crude though it was, showed remarkable intuition. And you, Sarah Chen, you were already beginning to perceive quantum echoes before the transformation. I couldn't let that potential be extinguished." A sudden ripple in the quantum field interrupted their conversation. Sarah's crystalline eyes flared as she processed the new information. They found another one, a research vessel near Jupiter. There, she stumbled as the quantum echoes hit her full force. Krith's consciousness steadied her, but not before she saw the horror unfolding. The Void Collective wasn't just destroying the ship. They were using a new weapon, one that unraveled quantum potential itself. "We have to help them," Sarah insisted, already reaching for the quantum field. "Wait." Krith's thought carried urgent warning. "What you're sensing happened 6 hours ago. The quantum echoes are strong because of the weapon they used. If we reveal ourselves now, then we give the survivors hope," Sarah finished. She pushed deeper into the quantum field, ignoring the pain that lanced through her transformed eyes. "Look at what I found in the quantum echoes from Station Helios." She shared the memory, quantum formulas, theoretical models, half-finished calculations, her own research, combined with data from other stations, all pointing toward something revolutionary. "The quantum displacement drive," she explained. "We were closer than anyone knew. With your knowledge and my ability to read quantum echoes, we could complete it. Give humanity a way to fight back." Krith's crystalline structure pulsed with concern. "The technology you're proposing, it would allow ships to exist in a quantum superposition, to be everywhere and nowhere simultaneously. The power requirements alone can be met by using your crystalline matrix as a template." Sarah pressed. "You've seen what I can do with quantum echoes. Help me take the next step. Help me save what's left of my people." The quantum field rippled around them as Krith considered. In the distance, they could both sense the Void Collective's ships moving through the solar system, methodically hunting down every trace of human quantum research. Finally, Krith's consciousness merged more fully with Sarah's. "Very well, but remember the lesson of my kind. Power without wisdom brings only destruction." Sarah's crystalline eyes glowed with determination. "Then teach me both. Because the next wave of ships that the Void Collective sends won't find scattered survivors trying to hide." She gestured at the quantum computers surrounding them. "They'll find humanity ready to fight back. And this time, we'll have a guardian fighting with us, not just watching. The quantum field hummed with possibility as ancient knowledge met human determination. In the depths of space, the Void Collective continued their relentless hunt, unaware that their perfect plan was about to meet its first real challenge. The war for humanity's quantum future was about to enter a new phase, and Sarah Chen, the woman with crystalline eyes, would lead the way. Quantum rebellion. The quantum displacement drive hummed to life, its crystalline core pulsing with possibilities. In the command center of the retrofitted mining facility, Sarah Chen watched through her transformed eyes as reality itself bent around their first test vessel. The small ship existed in multiple states simultaneously, its quantum signature rippling through space-time like waves in a pond. "The containment field is holding," Dr. James Martinez announced from his station. After their rescue from Saturn's rings, he and the other survivors had worked tirelessly to bring Sarah's vision to life. Quantum coherence at 97%. Krith's consciousness merged with the drive's crystalline matrix, its vast experience guiding the experimental technology. "The quantum superposition is stable, but we must be cautious. The void between states is hungry." Sarah understood. Through her quantum sight, she could see the dangerous spaces between possibilities where reality itself grew thin. One mistake, one miscalculation, and their test ship would be torn apart at the quantum level. "Begin Phase 2, she ordered, her crystalline lattice spreading across her skin in response to the mounting quantum energies. Over the past months, her transformation had continued, turning her into something that was neither fully human nor fully crystalline. The other survivors had been wary at first, but they couldn't deny the results. The test ship flickered, its quantum signature spreading across a wider area of space. To conventional sensors, it would appear to be in dozens of places simultaneously. To Sarah's quantum sight, it was a beautiful dance of probability and possibility. Multiple contacts. The tactical officer's warning cut through the moment of triumph. Void Collective ships dropping out of quantum space. "They found us." Sarah was already moving, her consciousness expanding into the quantum field. She could see them clearly. 5 capital ships, their obsidian hulls drinking in light and possibility alike. But something was different this time. The quantum echoes around their ships carried a new signature. "They've adapted." Krith's thoughts carried a note of grave concern. "They're using technology derived from studying our previous encounters. The quantum disruptors have been modified." Sarah gritted her teeth as she processed the tactical situation. Their facility's defenses were formidable, crystalline shields based on Krith's own structure, quantum phase cannons that could target ships across multiple probability states. But against 5 capital ships, "Launch the quantum probes," she ordered. All of them. Dozens of small crystalline devices shot out from the facility's launch tubes. Each one carried a fragment of Krith's consciousness, combined with quantum technology of Sarah's design. As they spread out, they began generating overlapping fields of quantum interference. The Void Collective ships opened fire, their weapons tearing through space-time itself. But Sarah had anticipated this. The quantum probes created a maze of false signatures and probability shadows, making it impossible for the enemy to target their true location. "The displacement drive is ready," Martins reported, "but we've never tested it under combat conditions." Sarah's crystalline eyes flared as she made her decision. "Transfer quantum control to my station. Krith, I need you to help me coordinate the probes." She could feel the strain immediately as her consciousness split between multiple tasks, maintaining the quantum interference pattern, coordinating with Krith, and preparing to activate the displacement drive. Blood trickled from her nose, her human body struggling to channel so much quantum energy. The Void Collective pressed their attack, their ships moving with perfect coordination. But in doing so, they revealed something crucial. Through her quantum sight, Sarah saw the pattern in their movements, the underlying structure of their tactical network. "They're quantum linked," she realized. "All their ships, all their weapons, They're operating in quantum synchronization. That's how they maintain such perfect coordination. Krith's consciousness surged with understanding. Yes, and any quantum-linked system can be disrupted, Sarah finished. She reached deeper into the quantum field, pushing her abilities to their limit. Her crystalline lattice grew more pronounced, spreading across her face and down her arms as her body adapted to channel more power. The quantum probes responded to her will, their interference patterns shifting. Instead of creating chaos in the quantum field, they began generating precisely tuned frequencies. Each probe's effect was minimal, but together. Now, Sarah activated the displacement drive at the exact moment the probe network reached critical resonance. Reality shuddered as their facility existed in multiple states simultaneously, but Sarah wasn't trying to escape. Instead, she used the drive to amplify the quantum disruption. The effect on the Void Collective ships was devastating. Their perfect formation collapsed as their quantum-linked systems experienced cascading failures. Ships appeared to be in multiple places at once, their crews unable to determine which reality was true. Their quantum synchronization is breaking down, Martins reported, his voice filled with awe. They can't coordinate their attacks. But Sarah wasn't finished. Through her quantum sight, she could see something else. Fear. The Void Collective's crews were experiencing quantum uncertainty on a personal level for the first time. Their perfectly ordered existence shattered. "Send the message," she commanded, her voice strained but determined. "On all quantum frequencies." Grith helped her shape the quantum transmission, carrying her words across the battlefield. "You thought you could control quantum reality, contain it, restrict it to your perfect order. But you forgot something fundamental about quantum mechanics. The observer affects the observed. We see you now. We understand you. And we are not afraid." The Void Collective ships began to retreat, their once perfect formation now a chaotic scramble. As they fled, Sarah collapsed into her command chair, blood flowing freely from her nose and crystalline eyes. The effort had nearly broken her, but she had proven something vital. The Void Collective could be beaten. "They'll be back," Grith warned, its consciousness helping to stabilize her quantum state. "And they will adapt again." Sarah smiled despite her exhaustion. "Good, because now we know their weakness. And next time." She looked at the quantum displacement drive, still humming with possibility. "Next time, we take the fight to them." In the quantum field around them, echoes of their victory rippled outward, carrying a message to every surviving human outpost. Hope was no longer just a possibility. It was becoming a reality. Light in the darkness. The quantum field roiled with possibility as the combined human guardian fleet emerged from superposition. 40 ships, each equipped with quantum displacement drives, materialized in perfect formation around the Void Collective's primary command nexus. At the heart of the fleet, aboard the flagship Helios Reborn, Sarah Chen opened her crystalline eyes to behold their enemy's stronghold. The massive structure defied conventional geometry, its obsidian surfaces flowing like liquid darkness across quantum states. This was where the Void Collective coordinated their systematic elimination of quantum-capable species across the galaxy. This was where it would end. All ships reporting quantum coherence stable, Martins announced from his tactical station. The survivors they'd rescued over the past year had become a formidable crew, each now hosting a fragment of crystalline technology that allowed them to perceive and manipulate quantum reality. Grith's consciousness resonated through the crystalline lattice that now covered most of Sarah's body. "They're responding. The quantum signatures. There are more of them than we anticipated." Hundreds of Void Collective ships began emerging from quantum space, their perfect formations creating geometric patterns that hurt the mind to observe. But Sarah had expected this. After their defeat in the solar system, the Collective would commit everything to crushing this rebellion. "All ships, initiate Protocol Schrödinger," Sarah commanded. The human fleet split into quantum superpositions, each vessel existing in multiple states simultaneously. The maneuver they'd practiced countless times looked like a dance through probability itself. The Void Collective launched their first attack, quantum disruptors targeting the spaces between possibilities. But Sarah had learned from every encounter, every quantum echo of past battles. Deploy the resonance network. Crystalline probes shot out from each human ship, creating a web of quantum entanglement that mirrored the collective's own tactical network. As the enemy weapons approached, the probes began generating counter-frequencies. Their first wave is scattered, Martins reported, but they're adapting already. Quantum signatures showing rapid reconfiguration. Sarah stood from her command chair, her crystalline form glowing with accumulated quantum energy. Begin Phase 2. Krith, are you ready? The ancient guardian's consciousness surged with determination. What we attempt has never been done. The quantum cascade could tear reality itself. Reality needs a little tearing, Sarah replied with a grim smile. She reached out through the quantum field, connecting with every crystalline fragment embedded in her fleet's ships and crews. Through their shared perception, she could see the truth of the Void Collective's nexus. It's a quantum computer, she realized. The entire structure. They're not just coordinating through it. They're part of it. Every ship, every crew member, all quantum-linked into a single consciousness. The Void Collective's second wave of attacks came from all possible angles simultaneously, their weapons designed to collapse quantum superpositions. 3 human ships couldn't maintain coherence, their displacement drives failing as reality reasserted itself. But Sarah had seen enough. All ships transmit quantum signature omega. Full power to the displacement drives. Energy cascaded through the crystalline networks as every human vessel began generating the same quantum frequency. The resonance built upon itself, amplified by Krith's ancient knowledge and Sarah's intuitive understanding of quantum mechanics. The Void Collective recognized the threat too late. Their perfectly ordered quantum network began experiencing interference on a fundamental level. Ships started appearing in impossible configurations, their crews losing connection to the central consciousness. Their network is destabilizing, Martin shouted over the growing quantum distortion. But our ships can't handle this level of resonance much longer. Sarah pushed herself to her limit, her crystalline form blazing with quantum energy as she directed the cascade. Blood flowed from her transformed eyes as she shaped the reality-bending forces around them. You sought to control quantum reality, she broadcast to the failing collective network, to impose perfect order on infinite possibility. But you forgot the fundamental truth of quantum mechanics. Observation changes everything. And humanity. We're the ultimate observers. The quantum cascade reached critical resonance. Reality shuddered as the combined power of 40 displacement drives, amplified by crystalline technology and directed by Sarah's quantum-enhanced consciousness, tore through the collective's perfect order. Their nexus began to break apart, not just physically but quantum mechanically. The structure existed in too many states simultaneously, probability itself rebelling against the collective's attempt to constrain it. Sarah, Krith's thought carried urgent warning. The cascade is approaching chaotic breakdown. If we don't stop. Not yet. Sarah gritted through the pain. Have to. Finish it. She could see the collective's ships trying to escape, their crews attempting to sever their quantum links to the dying nexus. But she held them in quantum superposition, forcing them to experience the uncertainty they had tried so hard to eliminate from the universe. The nexus collapsed in an explosion of quantum possibility. Reality reasserted itself like a snapped rubber band, sending shockwaves through space-time that the human fleet barely weathered. When the quantum echoes cleared, the Void Collective's perfect formation was shattered. Their ships drifted in space, their crews disconnected from the quantum network that had bound them together for millennia. Sarah collapsed, her crystalline form dimming as the enormous effort took its toll. Krith's consciousness helped stabilize her quantum state, preventing her from fragmenting across probability space. Signal from the collective ships, Martins reported, his voice filled with disbelief. They're Surrendering. Through her quantum sight, Sarah could see the truth. Without their network, without their perfect order, the collective was experiencing individual consciousness for the first time in countless generations. They were feeling uncertainty, possibility, freedom. Accept their surrender, she managed to whisper, but make sure they understand. The age of quantum suppression is over. Every species deserves the chance to explore their potential. Krith's consciousness resonated with pride and concern. You've changed the course of galactic history, but the price. Sarah looked at her crystalline hands, at the lattice of possibility that had replaced so much of her humanity. Worth it, she said simply. Besides, we're not finished. There are more species out there, more civilizations approaching quantum awareness. They'll need guidance, protection. You would take up the mantle of guardian? Krith asked, though it already knew her answer. Sarah smiled as she felt the quantum field rippling with new possibilities. Someone has to show them that the darkness between stars isn't something to fear. It's where the light of discovery burns brightest. Around them, the combined fleet of humans and their crystalline allies prepared to escort their former enemies home. But Sarah's quantum sight was already reaching further, sensing the echoes of other civilizations approaching their quantum awakening. The war was over, the real work of guiding humanity, and the galaxy into a new age of quantum enlightenment was just beginning. And Sarah Chen, the woman with crystalline eyes who had learned to see possibility in darkness, would lead the way. In the quantum field that connected all things, echoes of their victory would resonate for eons to come, a testament to humanity's greatest strength, the ability to face the unknown not with fear, but with wonder.